Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Facebook Live here. Um, I today will be discussing relationships, especially with our closest partners. I'm going to be discussing a little bit about my journey with my current wife. We've been together for about 18 years, I believe it is, and so I'm going to share a little bit more about how we made it work and so on. But before that, I also wanted to just recap on the last live I did, which was all about health. And The big thing for me is about accountability. You've got to find people that you can be accountable to whenever you have a goal, whatever it is, a health goal, any kind of resolutions, any kind of goals for business, any kind of financial goal. You make sure that you have some people that you report to, and also have some kind of a way to either punish yourself for not being accountable or have some huge reward if you do stay accountable throughout the thing. And then obviously that's the main thing there, is to be accountable and every day do what you say you're going to do. Whether you reach your goal or not is not really the point. The point is that you take the daily actions, right? So just to share my story very quickly, I have been able to design a life by building a business mainly online, by helping other people just like you build their business online and be able to achieve complete financial and time freedom. And my wife and I decided that we wanted to move to Valencia in Spain, to be right by the beach, and also to have the sun all year round and have lovely winters like right now, being able to sit outside on this early Sunday morning here. And it's just lovely watching people do stand-up paddle on the sea, and it's just amazing. And anybody can achieve this as long as you put some work into it, and as long as you are with the right vehicle to do that. And so I'm not going to go into that today. What I want to discuss today is relationships. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's so great to have you on here. So please share this or comment on whatever. I appreciate all of that. Thank you so much for that. Um, so with relationships, I'll just discuss my story, and which has been a very, very challenging journey a little bit. I actually met Mary when we were just 16 years old. We met at a very, very early age, and we didn't start dating until we were about 19 years old. And we have broken up many times. We've had our challenges. We've had really, really rough patches, but we've also, of course, had amazing times as well. And so I think it's so important that if you're going to have success in other parts of your life, it's really, really important to also have some kind of a peace or some kind of great relationship with your closest one, and whether that's your boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever it is, right? And and so this is sometimes really, really frustrating when we're building a business that we're maybe had a fight with our partner or whatever else. It's going to be very difficult for you to then have this amazing energy throughout the day and build a business around that. So some of the things that we've always looked at is to say, okay, well, especially since we got engaged, things have been really, really good for us. And I think that's because we have realized that, hey, we have to be on the same team no matter what. And yes, we are going to have rough patches. We're going to have rough days. We're going to have rough weeks. We're going to have rough months. We've even had like maybe almost years where things have not been as good as other years, right? And so you first have to say, okay, well, what's the end goal here? Well, if you have kids, it's a lot easier, because then it's like, well, let's just stay together because it makes things so much easier. And if we're going to stay together, why not make it really, really great? And so some of the things that Mary and I do is that we look to have date night every single week. We also understand that just as a human need, we need to have kind of touch and love. That's kind of one of the things that everybody needs. And so we really look to see how can we have more of that physical context, more hugs throughout the days. Another thing that can help some people is just, it might be a bit corny, but it's just to say something to say you're super grateful about your partner every single day. um, Find ways to kind of surprise each other. I mean, that's the tough part, especially as we've been together for a really long time, and sometimes we take each other for granted. And she is just amazing at so many things, and yet I take a lot of that for granted sometimes. And that's where, how can I always every single week say, okay, well, what's really important to me in my life? Well, obviously, my wife and my children are really, really important to me. So how can you also look at improving those on a daily basis or weekly basis? And so I think that's really important now when you set up your goals for 2017, is to have relationship goals, especially with your close partner. I'll be discussing a little bit more about my kids tomorrow, but there as well, I have certain goals. And that's just, I'm so grateful for this business and enabling me to actually spend time and be home with my kids so much. But with your partner, make sure that you maybe sit down together right now and write out some goals over for this next year about how you can improve your relationship, how you can because what always happens is that there are certain things that are really, really important to me but are not important to Mary, and there are certain things that are really important to her that are not important to me. So find out what those priorities are. So for chores, for example, we all have to do certain chores around the house. We don't always want to do them, but maybe some of them I kind of enjoy and she doesn't, and the other way around. So find out ways how you can be a team and make all of this work, right? It's all this process that you always have to continue to work on, right? And so um, also make it a little bit of fun, like all of these things, make it certain challenges. So one of the things that I realized this year was that I wasn't cooking enough. Like I love to cook, and I love to kind of, find really good recipes and go out there and go shopping in the grocery store, and then go home and make this kind of, some kind of different dinner that we've never had before, lunch, whatever it is, right? And but I'm not doing it at all anymore. So what I did was, in our kitchen, we actually have these like tiles that you can actually write with the pen that you can erase, erasable pens on there. And so I started to notch down every meal that she was actually cooking for starting this year. And I saw that I had zero. She started to pile up the meals. And suddenly I just went, okay, I need to do something about this. So yesterday I went out and well, first of all, the day before that, I started to look through all these kind of recipes and found all these different things that I could make. And then yesterday I was able to make a couple meals, and that's, just little things like that. It's just being able to see, okay, well, how can I improve on a daily basis? How can I make this relationship better? What is it that maybe I'm not pulling my weight on, right? And so find out also from the other person what they want out of you, right? So I hope all these things are helping here with the relationship stuff. I mean, I just highly, highly recommend that if you have a good relationship with your partner, you're going to have so much better success in all other parts of your life, because you're not going to have this like bad feeling that you've just been in a fight with them or whatever else it is, right? And no matter, even though we have, this amazing life, we live where we want to live, we don't have the financial stresses at all, we still have challenges in our relationship, right? You always do, but we still work on that on every single week to see how can that get better. So I hope that helps. Tomorrow I'm going to be discussing a little bit more what I do with my kids, and how to build to help the relationship there, and how much this business really helped to be able to improve those relationships as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and there you go, Amelia. Yeah, you love cooking fresh daily. I love that. Okay, everyone, have a great Sunday, and go out there and make it a fabulous one.